Hey guys, so we're re-recording our finals match on this 1v1 tournament against Quill. I got a couple of comments saying that the video was corrupted. It only worked up to about halfway. So we're going to try and re-record this. For those of you who have seen this already, sorry about it. For those of you who haven't, it was only working up to about 20 minutes and then 30 minutes, and then it was corrupted. The audio was working, but the video was not. So we're going to re-record this. So we're playing against Quill in the finals, and he is a Conk 3 player. He's like around 1700 elo. He's a very good player. And he is typically an Avis Adeli main. So he did go for an off civ for this tournament. So definitely a big shout out to him to try out a new build with something that's a little bit that he's not as familiar with. And we were going with our main. So a little bit of an edge to us in that regards. And yeah, he's going Ayabids. And the big thing with the Ayabids, the one really big thing that we're seeing a lot of players do early on, is go Desert Raiders. And we were theorizing that the Desert Raiders are going to lose to the Mangadai, but we weren't sure yet, so we're going to test it out and see where we go from there. Either way, we knew that that interaction would be kind of the determining factor of this matchup, because our range with my playstyle for Mongols is Mangadai, right? So definitely got to like sort out how that's gonna work. And Airbirds have a really interesting um, House of Wisdom. They can get one of two things every time they age up, and each one is basically like a landmark in the sense that you can only get one at a time, and only one time. And so he's aging up with Economic Industry, which upon completion awards 300 wood, which is huge, right? So basically, you only have to collect 100 or so wood, maybe 150 for like a house, and you're going to be getting your second TC very quickly. So that's a really big deal. Economic growth. The other one is 3 villagers and orchids gain 50 additional food. I've had checked orchids. By orchids, I mean berry bushes. They're just confusing themselves with the Byzantine olive orchards. So both of these are actually both really strong, right? One is giving you an immediate 3 villagers. The other one's giving you wood for whether it be second TC or infrastructure, etc., right? If it's wood, you're dropping docks or ships, etc. So we do go up with deer stones, and my thinking behind this is, well, not that silver tree is bad, because silver tree is very good, but the cost of going trade early on against an opponent that is going to be aggro, against aggro civs, and Quill in general is an aggro player, so that's why we were 100% pretty much guaranteed to go Deerstones. But even against matchups that are kind of aggro, a lot of people are playing the new civs aggro. That's just kind of usually the easiest build orders are aggro build orders, so that's what everyone kind of transitions to early. And you can afford your military a lot better with a Deerstones build than with trade, because you're going to have your silver tree setting up, and then you're going to start trading with the silver tree, and by the time that starts taking off, if you don't have map control when your trade is going on, you will lose a lot of investment, right? So, and it's hard to defend your trade without walls. So we over pursue here with our con, unfortunately, and we lose our con, which is actually a pretty big deal because we lose vision of where they're dropping this. We're losing a little bit of harass. Like, we might have been able to harass this one villager that's at 32 health to pull away, or maybe he dies, who knows. But either way, I guess we don't deny this TC, but we could definitely harass it. Behind this, he's already second TC, tapping up, um, and halfway done at the 5-minute mark. So it's very hard to raid against this Iobid build. It's very clean. So that's definitely something that has to be like in the back of your mind, right? When you're playing against Iobid. Because if they go this economic wing, you don't know which one he's gone for, but he's gone for one. And yeah, it can be the very fast second TC, or it could be 3 villagers ahead at the same. Or that's the other thing. He could be a whole 3 villagers ahead. So you do have to keep track of that. These other wings are also pretty cool too. Reinforcement. Cavalry can build siege weapons, which is huge. I wish the Mongols had this. And Master Smiths, and you get blacksmith technologies for entering an age, which is I'm curious if you do this in Imp, if you get all of the upgrades, right? So just an interesting little thing. Culture wing, next stage takes 40% less time and 500 less resources, which is really cheap, right? Really quick. And this other one is 3 dervishes and improves the unit's healing by 50%. So you can get a fast castle relic grab play out of this, which is actually pretty good too. The last one is Bazaar, and this is what people have been calling as the casino wing, the slot machine wing, because it's very random, but it drops off traders and you can buy different things. It can be really good, it can be really bad, just kind of depends on your situation. It's definitely a gamble. And then this one is really interesting because you gain 4 Atabeg, which can be garrisoned in any military production and increase the health of newly trained units by 20%. And for feudal, it was only 2. For castle, now it's 4. Increases the health of newly trained units by 20%, which is huge, right? So if you can do this on an imp, it must be like 6 Atabeg or 8 Atabeg, which is nutty. So over here we get our raid in. We weren't able to stop this TC. He's going up. So what we go for is to stop the gold, and we are able to shut it down. Behind this, he's going for Desert Raiders. Desert Raiders guys are expensive. I didn't know this until this replay, but 80 food, 50 wood, 50 gold. So they're actually 20 resources total more expensive than Manganite. So it's a very expensive unit to be going. And he has to establish his gold, right? So shutting him off of gold is big. We stay away from this guy even though he had bows and stuff, because he's trying to pull his sword on us, and we noticed that, and we're able to push him off here. And then one thing I wish I had done in this match was stay on this gold. If you look at our vision, we do raid over here with Keshik, and we get a really nice raid because that's another change of this new civ is the new update is the TCs can only garrison seven villagers, right? So we have now 7 villager kills, which is huge with a couple Keshiks. That's definitely huge value. But I'm starting to rally troops over here. I have the scout over here watching. And I had a manga over here trying to deny this wood line. You can see we start getting fucked up by these scouts or by these archers, so we fall back. But we definitely should have kept our troops over here. And if we look, he's rotating villagers now onto gold. These guys are doing nothing, right? This is 6 Mangadite. 100% we start killing some of these guys. He falls back, and then these 5 archers are not enough to hold us back. And so he would have been super archer heavy. And we can take that fight fairly comfortably. So we're coming over to rotate, and we can actually count the idle time seconds here with our rotation because we didn't fully shift click over. So we stopped at 9:15. And this is, these little things add up. It's crazy. You wouldn't think there's little pauses in your micro while you're macroing behind this. Okay, so 9:27. So there's 12 seconds right there. 9:33. About 3 more seconds. So 15 seconds. If we arrived 15 seconds earlier, this is only halfway built. We win this fight. He loses these villagers. So timing is huge, but your rotations on your clicks and stuff is really big. Like, we were rotating to find something over here, and maybe it wasn't the best move, but returning back to what we needed to do and not fully shift clicking it over was an even bigger mistake. And even going this far wide, we probably could have come a little bit tighter. But not missing that second shift click is huge, so definitely a big mistake on our part. Behind this, since we said he we went to PC, we were going 2 markets. I would have liked to have gone maybe another one, but it is pretty tough to afford the food or the wood and the gold at this early stage while we're making gold heavy units, right? So we get what we can in terms of raids here, but we do have to fall back, unfortunately. We do have one Keshik up here coming up, and he's just kind of chilling in here. He's going to be able to pick one of those building. We do see this army around here if we look at our vision, so we're just going to try to circumvent and avoid them. We see this Desert Raider, and we're just kiting it, doing some damage. Almost kill it. You can see how much damage Mangadai do to the Desert Raiders, right? And he wants to close in with his swords because they do 13 damage. So that's the big thing. He's trying to out micro and close in on me, but it's just it's tough for the Desert Raiders, right? It's not exactly easy. So they're 162 and we're at 156. So they can catch up to us, right? And we try to cut around here and get past these guys. Unfortunately, though, we are in range when we do this, and we are going to lose a con. But I would rather lose my con than a Mangadai at this stage. Traders starting to go up. We're up to 5 traders, and you can see we felt like he's going to gear up for feudal pressure. We know that army. We don't know if that army was pushing across or where it is exactly, but we have a decent force rallied up. We have more troops in queue. We are going up to a bunch of stables because we think that with our Mangadai out, typically what people do is start massing archers. We get a confirmation of this archer mass running into it over here. We also knew that we slid on this gold, so for more, we just felt like archers was like the play that was going to come out, right? And we're going north because if we're running into reinforcements, that means his army is up here somewhere. And so we're going to go look for his army, and we're not finding it. And I guess I had just a bad sense of timing because it makes sense that, you know, it's up there, right? So definitely a little bit my bad. I should have accompanied these traders. I should have just kept going and secured these couple of traders, right? Because these 2 traders is big, right? It's 140 gold, and it's a big tempo thing, right? For my trade build and my archery range. So this is definitely a really big mistake, right? Because we lose 140 gold here. We're gonna lose. We don't lose this one, thankfully, but yeah, we lose a lot of tempo there. So that's a big deal. So now we're getting not gold starved, but we're definitely getting our gold slowed down. And this play still hurts. Like, this was such a really big blunder on our part. It just really changes the aspect of this game. We do, unfortunately, walk into our opponent's army. We don't A move, and so we lose our lancers here, which is a little bit of a mistake. Behind this, we do have a lone Keshik in mid. That was just kind of like a gauge for pressure, and he does get picked out here. And we unfortunately lose a lot of Mangadai here for no reason. We lose like 2 Mangadai, 3 Mangadai. I think 2 of those Mangadai were definitely savable, so we just need to keep our Keshik there. So keeping like 2 more Mangadai here for like 100% would have been a really big deal to have 4 Mangadai. And then he's starting to push up, and we're grouping up with our army. We knew we lost these Keshik, so we're thinking there's a possibility of a push up the middle. Either way, we're rerouting our trade to the south. We've got a couple of traders up here to the north still, but I think we're going to reroute to the south here fully. After this, we do have a couple of traders going to the south right now, right? So we're getting hit up here, and I think we are going to move trade to the south here. Yeah, so we reroute trade. We know that was a pretty big army. We saw that army, so we know that we might as well start sending trade to the south at this point. He's going on to deer. Behind this, I'd like to give you my guys' vision. I have a scout on this deer and berry patch. I would have loved to have another scout over here on this other deer and berry patch. So a little bit of a blunder, only having one scout out. But it's important for these food pulls, right? Because as you can see now for this timing, right around 12 minutes, 13 minutes is when people are pulling out of their base and going for additional food, right? Even earlier, even at like 8 minutes. So we're able to clean up this army really confidently. Destroyed value, he's gotten a lot more destroyed value, but army value, like on the field, we have a lot more. So we're taking good trades, even though it doesn't like necessarily seem like it in the terms of the destroyed value cost. And we see his army here. Luckily, we have a outpost here, so it's gonna start chunking down these desert raiders, and he's gonna be able to kill one, but it's an easy flank for us here. And again, he's gonna lose a lot of army. He's at 1760 army value, and we're at 2510. So we lose 200 army value, and he loses 700. So this is what I mean, being able to invest early in your army constantly, and it just allows you to take this map control. Now that we've taken map control, we're kind of trading behind this, easy peasy, right? We're not struggling to defend our trade, and that's kind of what can happen sometimes if you go against an aggro civ, and you go a silver tree build. Like you can defend, it's more viable if you go foot archers. So if you go foot archers and silver tree, you're gonna have a lot better time defending, for sure. But it's definitely tougher to do because you can lose these initial fights. So I think it's almost always better to commit to the initial fights with deer stones, take map control, and then go into trade behind it, because your eco will be able to just handle it a lot better. So again, as always, when you're playing a horse comp, you have to be really aware of your opponents, especially against Ayubids, because they're going to have desert raiders, they're going to have camels, which are going to wreck your cab, but they're also going to incorporate some spears into the play. I like to see Quill doing. And obviously the best counter to this, it would be mass archer. Like if you made only archers, I'm pretty sure you would just shit on this comp. Maybe throw a couple spears in. You could make like 80% archers, 20% spears, and you would absolutely shit on this comp. It would be disgusting because these guys don't have a ranged armor. Over here, he does wall this. If we had gone really good, like, play, we could have sneaked in here and started hitting this. But the second his army comes, it would come up behind us. We'd have one of two choices, right? We'd have to either come around and escape. We might have gotten trapped doing it, right? Because he can split his army like that, right? He can send one unit this way, one unit the other way. So it would have been definitely dicey. So maybe it's a good thing in retrospect that we don't catch these villagers out with this army, because we might have gotten our army trapped and killed. Behind this, we do see the berries going. We take this group. We're rallying our new units right here, and they're kind of like in a midpoint, so we can go to either side. So we're kiting here, doing what we can, falling back here, and we've got a scout over here, right? So he doesn't see us, but we can see him, and we just gotta keep our army tight and close. And these guys are just they're just rallied over here onto these guys. So we're gonna A move them into these villagers. At the same time, we're gonna hit over here and pull this aggro with us. He re-engages this aggro onto us, which is what we wanted him to do. And you can see that the army value just is dropping and the veil count is dropping, right? So we've got 24 veils killed at this point. We're both at 69. Yeah, I mean, if he's gone 2 TC and we're 20 minutes into the game and I'm able to slow down his eco to the same eco as me, especially with that 4.5 minute basically time, or 5 minute finish time on his TC, we're in a really good spot, right? So now he's gotta get some damage in. So we also started trading up to the top here, because this trade to the south is cheeky and it's working, but it's not sustainable. It's not defendable easily. So we 100% are trading again north and south, and we're just happy with, I think it was 10 traders that we've got over here, if I remember correctly. 9, yeah, 10 traders. So we have 10 traders over here. We take that army that killed, and we're gonna split them down over here. And we have this army kind of chilling. If we look at the Fog of War, he's bringing his army over. He's splitting his spearmen to go harass the trade, and he's hitting us over here. He does kill us, and you can see that's a really big that's a big mistake on our part, because and we leave these guys here. Like, getting the scout kills suck, right? His horsemen raiding us up here, so we're gonna go splitting our army over there. But like, we didn't pull our cavalry away from this fight. We knew it was coming. We just wanted to sacrifice them to keep our trade going a little bit longer, right? But he had already seen our trade. He had split his spearmen away, so end of the day, it was actually a really big waste losing these guys for basically nothing. So really bad trade for us there. But behind all of this aggression, all of this trade and stuff, we are now tapping up. So we're the first up in the castle, which is going to be really big. Because the Mangadai upgrade is, it does take quite a bit. It does take a while. And he isn't teching up yet, right? So he's floating a ton of gold. That's another thing. Our macro overall is in a lot better spot than his is. Right now we're kind of floating resources because we want to get our upgrades out of age up. And he's just kind of floating, building units and stuff. So his food eco is a little bit lagging right now. After cleaning up that horseman raid, we're immediately coming across, bringing our units. The Yam is really nice for getting our units over there faster. We would like a couple more towers for sure, but the Deer Stones is helping close up this Yam. So he's over here. She's killed a bunch of traders. Our trader count now is at 11. So luckily we never dip below 10, which is important because once you get below 10, your gold income starts to get pretty dicey. So right now, yeah, our goal is at 800 a minute. So he's gonna burn all of these outposts up, and we're able to take this engagement against the Desert Raiders. Like, it hurts, but it's not a bad engagement with the Mangadai there. We just have to be careful of the Spearmen, and our veteran Mangadai upgrade is 14 seconds up, so we just gotta be really careful. We don't want to lose these guys. Veteran Keshiks is also just about to finish. It's almost at the same time, right? Always queue up your veteran Mangadai before your veteran Keshiks, because it takes a full minute longer than the other one does. So again, we don't take the engage here. We're just harassing, chewing up these units. You can see that the army values now, we're double his army value because we're able to bleed him out like this. So this build, this playstyle is all about bending and not breaking. And we go up to 5 ranges, 4 stables. So we got a decent amount of production. I would like to see a little bit more here soon. Behind this, we do harass. We have been harassing. We harassed his gold line a little bit, and we just back up with these 7 Mangadai, and you can see that we're chewing up that horseman. Over here on the main base, we do take this fight. We felt like we could win it with our Mangadai mass here. We're basically trading out all of our cav here as a front line, and that's what we end up doing. But you can see how the Mangadai trade really well into the Desert Raider comp, right? Desert Raiders and Spearmen, right? So the DPS is great. We shred that up and we keep moving. Over here, these Mangadai would have been nice if we had caught on these villagers immediately. There was a small window, but we do take him over to harass this gold because we knew that he was going to be onto this gold. He has over-collected gold, so he's not too worried about it, and he's got up to Castle Age. He should be getting his upgrades here shortly. One thing he does do better, he does get his +1 melee damage before we do. And so he's getting his veteran raiders, veteran horsemen, veteran archers. So he's getting his upgrades right now, so he used up all that gold, which is good for us. Over here again, we've got some towers up for defense. Would love to see a couple more. That's one thing that I could have done a little bit better. Like, I was committing one villager to build towers. I could have continued to do that. I think getting more towers is only going to benefit you. Another thing that we do really, really badly is our Ubu. Where is our Ubu? Oh, it's over here. Okay, so we do re-up the Ubu, but yeah, we do kind of bad in terms of, like, maybe this Ubu is good, but the next one, I think we don't even get a next Ubu after this, which is kind of a big deal, because we do have 2 safe stones back here, so a little bit of a mistake. And over here, we're trying to find raids. We do run into these villagers over here. We get a few more kills. I think we kill like 2 or 3 villagers, but they were shift-click these guys to go check out trade, so unfortunately we missed an opportunity to kill like 6 or 7. And so, yeah, but the big thing is now we've got him really penned into his base. I wish I had that other group of Mangadai. Instead of bringing them across the map, I'd left them over here. They could have done a great job just hitting this uh, this deer camp, because we would have killed these villagers 100%, right? 13 vills. So why we were rotating onto looking for the market is because we didn't see any villagers on gold. And for him to be no villagers on gold for that long amount of time, I was thinking that he was doing something right. He does pull 3 villagers over here to try to build a tower, and he runs them into a bunch of towers, right? So, one big plus side about dropping a shit ton of towers, right? We're over here hitting the front of his base, trying to get pressure and trying to knock in. Again, if we really neglected checking out those deers at the top, we're going to come build a tower over here, which is good, but again, not as much as we would have liked. Behind this, we do put our prayer tent, and we are collecting over here, and we're just bending here, right? We're just harassing, bending, and doing as much damage as we can. Destroyed value, we've pulled ahead, even though we've been significantly behind. And we're up to 24 traders, which is huge, right? We're getting a really mean gold income per minute. So we're at 1200, choose 800. Everything except wood, we're doing better. Where is his wood line at? Okay, it's over here. He doesn't have really efficient wood going over here too. He should drop another lumber camp here, and he could probably drop another one here at this point as well. So that's definitely something always to keep in mind, is to keep your drop off rates a little bit slower or faster, is to keep it close. So over here we got to fall back from the horsemen, right? So we're harassing here. We're falling back to the tower because we get yam, right, and we can harass, and we see the double mangonels, and that's a fight we cannot take, right? We were already going up to siege, thankfully, but we queue up a second siege when we see this big death ball and the mangonels, because if we don't get springolds, we just lose the game. There's no way. I mean, you can split your army and get some sneaky dive-ins and etc., dodge mango shots. Even against the Manganiques, it's even harder because they do have an incendiary weapon that's got even a bigger spread. So, very difficult. We're quick tapping up another Siege Workshop with a third, with 8 villagers, because getting these things out immediately is going to be a key to the game. We split up 11 horsemen. This is going to be for a flank around the side. This tower is up. I would love to see this villager dropping more towers. I think I have him start building like stables, but honestly, if I had dropped a couple more towers, we would have been in a much better spot, right? Like dropping a tower here, etc., right? So we do have our first springald up, which is great. He hasn't pushed us. He's just taken map control on sap here, and yeah, he's taking the map control. Behind this, we are raiding the back of his base. We're currently at 32 vill kills, right? So we're gonna get a couple more over here. Just harassing where we can. Over here in the main base, he is pushing us. We lose one springald, a little bit of sloppiness by us not committing to that a little bit better. Behind this, we do have a mango coming up. We did want, that's initially why we got the Siege Workshop, was to get a mango, but this is why we get this third Siege Workshop, is to be able to queue it all up. And mangoes are set up, they get good shots, we fall back, gotta dodge those shots. Behind this, our horsemen are flanking. Our one springald gets the damage in, and our horsemen flanked, and they attack moved onto this one. But I didn't shift click him onto the second one because I had to dodge the shot. We don't dodge this one. Luckily, it mostly hits Keshiks. And we are under Kurultai. But you can see that our army is able to push this back, which is a pretty big deal. He cleans up our raid over here, but he's lost a lot of villagers. So in that whole exchange, he's lost 12 villagers. How many of those villagers were back in his base? I want to probably only say like 3 or 4. I want to say the other like 8 were over here building these towers, right? So we could push forward, potentially win this fight, harass him off of gold. But under this keep, we will lose a lot of Mangadai against, I mean, we win this fight on an open field against 31 archers, right? But it's going to be a brutal trade, right? So behind this, we do see things that were happening over here. Our vision, we see villagers running around. We saw this stable or this granary over here. So we're gonna go and see what we can find. Our monk over here is picking up. He picked up a far relic from our opponent, which is huge. You know, after picking up the main relic, he went over there during this engagement and was able to snag our opponent's relic. Again, really big deal. I didn't even realize we had deer here. Kind of a mistake on my part not going onto that deer. And then we find this. We see his villagers pull off, but we see a big push coming up in the middle. We reposition our curl tie. Our mangoes are exposed, so we have to bring our army back, and we do split some of our army over here to go find these villagers, and that's what these 3 mango are doing. They're gonna go harass that, and behind this, these guys are pushing forward. And luckily, he only shift queued 2 of my mangoes, and so the other 2 mangoes are able to save themselves, and we're sending rams forward to push. But he is macroing really well, and he has reinforcements coming up, and so we have a huge value difference in terms of army. Army size is comparable, and he's got a keep that he can fall under. Over here, he starts harassing this over here, so we're going to pull these Mangadai over shortly, I'm sure, to go deal with these villagers. A little unfortunate, we get this upgrade, and all it does is we get 1 Springald shot out, so a little bit unfortunate there. But we do run in here with our Mangadai, and he's gonna start losing villages pretty hand over fist here, right? Town center is idle, a little bit of a mistake here. Probably doing macro behind this. We are getting our +2 military upgrades. That's something that both of us have neglected pretty badly. And we wanted to get in there and dive, but we have to be careful with these camo lancers, so we don't bite the bait. And we're wanting to trade out our rams. We just wanted to get rid of them because we needed the more pop cap for other siege weapons. I was hoping to get the trebs or my mangoes to come out. Yeah, I have mangoes in queue. Yeah, mangoes and another ram. So I probably could cancel that ram to get more speed for my siege weapons. But yeah, a little bit of a mistake. These villagers on gold are also an afterthought. They need to be cancelled. Or doing different things. These villagers on gold should be rotating on defending our backline here, dropping a bunch of towers. So it's definitely kind of a big mistake on my part. And he's positioned in between me and my base. So he does the smart thing and he's sending a raid up and out. So it's a little bit unfortunate. I do see these guys like moving, so I'm gonna take the cutoff angle and kind of force an engagement here. I bring my mangoes up to just fight. Again, it's not the best of fights because there's double Springles there. They're gonna shoot us up, but we have to take this. This was gonna be a really big problem. I would have to pull Mangadai back to deal with this, and it looks like I hadn't noticed at this point yet. He does thankfully all army key and send us back. So if this stays back there, we lose a lot of tempo. That actually might have been a huge difference in the game, right? And that's where this is coming from, right? What we do with these villagers to stop these camel riders was build more towers, and they were shift queued. So this is a big mistake that comes back, and it doesn't bite us in the ass, but it could have bit us in the ass, right? So his Springolds are here. They're duking out our taking out our siege. Which is unfortunate, right? You just got a treb for free. But these guys have no army for them, right? They have there's nothing protecting this army or these Springolds now. There's just a couple archers. So he's gonna get pushed back here, no problem. Behind this, we do take a small detachment and are raiding elsewhere. So that's definitely something we like to do. And we did send that 1 lone ram up during this, and he is taking out 1 siege workshop. Might get a second one here. But Kuro's making a big base over here. He's upgrading these outposts with Springolds. So we just gotta take this fight. Again, we're just kiting over here, doing the best that we can. We don't want to be in the front line with the Mangadai. We always want to be in the back, but we're taking great trades here, right? Because we're losing a couple of Keshiks, but we're wiping this whole army. And he's gonna lose all these Springolds here, so definitely a big deal. It is painful with this Springold tower. in our back line doing damage. We come over here to check for trade. We figured he would go for trade. We know he went for the middle, but the smart thing would be behind this middle play would be to go for trade. So he does have a market set up, but he isn't trading yet. But if he had been, we'd be here, right? So we know he's got his gold is over here. So we're trying to get some harass on the gold villagers, pull his army back and away from the front so we can get pressure on the middle, up at the front here, which is what we're doing. And we're bringing a couple rams in. We've still got a bunch of stuff in queue. And behind this, we both have gone up to Imp. But the difference is I have a lot of gold. So I'm able to get Stone Commerce, I'm able to get Incendiaries, I'm getting Elite Mangadai. And he is just now getting his Elite Spearman and Sultan's Mamluk. Infantry gain 25% damage, 20% movement for 10 seconds after killing a unit. This is not a universal buff, this is per infantry unit. So every infantry that kills a guy gets better. But if your buddy right next to you kills a guy, you don't get better. It's only the unit that kills the unit that gets better. Behind this, we are raiding the back of his base. He is rewalling here, but we're going to start killing a bunch of units, right? So our raid starts at 71 villagers killed, and we're going to get a couple more villagers killed, I'm sure. He does drop a tower over here. He does find some production, but that's about it. We're killing some forward production over here. This back raid, we've killed 4 villagers. We're leaving these Keshik here, pulling these ones up and around to find more farms. And this is where his food count is suffering bad. He's only at 28 villagers on food right now. Because he pulled a lot of villagers to gold because he was hurting for gold. So he kind of over macros on gold at this point. He's finally getting the gold. He's back on gold. But he's playing his gold basically in a way that he's just trying to collect as much as he can. He wants to just empty this area as quickly as he can, right? But it's not that easy. Over here, we are losing a couple of mangoes. Not the greatest to play here by us with our army. They was because we did have other stuff going on in the back. When we said we had 71 villagers killed at the beginning of this raid, and now we're at 90 villagers killed. So we killed a bunch of villagers there, right? Like a ton. And that's like 19 villagers killed because of this one raid, and it's still going, right? We still got 94, 95, so 24 villagers, 25 villagers. So that's a ton. That's a lot of value with this little raid of 10 units that we got, right? So we're able to kill an absolute shit ton of units here. And in the front, we're still chewing up his defense. I'd like to see this bombard being a little bit more aggro, as well as our army. We've got a lot of gold. We're hurting a little bit in the food production, but yeah, we're not in a bad spot there. We're also getting adjustable crossbars and regular biology. That's going to help us significantly. I would like to see the monastic shrines going up. We also rotated after that one raid by those camels. We go into 4 markets just in case he starts committing to a more aggro type of a play here, like more raids, because once you got that raid and we were kind of worried, and I thought these towers were up, but they definitely weren't, so again, big misread. Over here we have 1 Mangadai left, and I mean, we're up to 100 villa kills, so we've gotten 29 villager kills for that raid overall, which is a really big deal, right? And he's still trying to clean this up, because we still got Mangadais in the back of his base, so we've disabled a whole bunch of farms. This is what? I don't know, 8, 10 farms, 13, 17 farms. Like, shutting down 17 farms is huge, right? And then this time we would take a round to go, like, look for stuff. But honestly, I could have just left these guys up and over here, right? We could have gotten another 7 kills. So we're able to push his army back a little bit, like, keep him here. But the big thing is we're just taking down some of this infrastructure here. We're getting our tracks and trebuchets out. We need trebs. The rams are good. Actually, what we really need is some springolds, and so we are getting our springolds out because as long as we have springolds, we can make rams, we can make springs, we can do whatever we want. The springs are hitting us and they are aggroing us, so we do have to be careful about that. We're falling back. We are grabbing the 4th relic at this time as well, and they shift queued She's shift queued into this wood line. Oh, into the back here. There we go. So we definitely have a siege advantage right now. His army gets obliterated by those mangoes, and he's not going to have enough of a front line to deal with this. We lose one mango, but we have the Springald superiority, we have the mango superiority, so at this point, with that one engagement, he's in a really bad spot. And mostly because that food eco was hurting, right? That food eco wasn't going at full tilt, and it was definitely hurting. And his military production, I feel like it's actually not as good as it should be, right? Let's see how many military infrastructure he's got. So for him re-upping is, I mean, yeah, he's only on 9. I mean, he's got these buildings up here too, right? But yeah, he's only on 9 military production buildings, which is a really big difference. So he's definitely messing up and not getting enough military production. We've gone up to 26. So that's a much more comfortable number, right? We can re-up very quickly in support. That being said, he doesn't really have the eco like to support much more. Infantry do produce a lot faster, but yeah. We're bringing rams. We want to get this keep down and out. We did lose that one traction trebuchet to the Springald. It's a little bit of sloppy micro on our part. I would love to see monastic shrines used. This monk is chilling back here. Big mistake is not getting these sacred sites already. We are both of us, him too. Like him not getting the sacred sites is a pretty big deal because I mean that's a lot of free gold we were both missing out on. Rams do come here finally, take out the rest of this infrastructure up here, and start pushing his base. And he's hurting for wood, right? He's got to spend wood on his units. He's got some heavy wood costs on his units, and all my wood is going towards siege and infrastructure. So we cleaned this up, and we finally retaken control of the mid. So it's been a minute, but we've retaken it, and he has a big bank of gold here, right? He's at 4,600 gold. Behind this, we're going to start raiding the south. We want to check if he's trading. He might have trade up and going. He might have stone walls here. So we got to go check this out, right? If it's going to become a long and grind out kind of a trade situation, I would immediately just start dropping towers. Like I'd pull like 5 wood villas and start dropping towers. Right now these villages are still in this gold vein, which is really, really bad. But I would just start dropping a shit ton of towers. If I see trade going, I start dropping towers, I start getting cannon towers, and my trade line becomes unraidable, and your trade line, you're not getting stone from your trade, right? So you're gonna have a lot harder time investing in that stuff. So I can just build rams, I can pop in different areas. If I attack 4 different spots with rams, you're gonna have a really hard time dealing with those holes, right? And all it takes is one successful hole and 10 units, and like that one raid we got 20 villager kills, no, almost 30 villager kills, with 10 units. So that's the power of the raids, right? These camel lancers over here on the flank, protecting this wood line. This is one thing that if we had found this, it would have been kind of a GG moment because these are 35 villagers on wood, right? Behind this, these guys are looking for trade, are punching through, they are taking down a couple of barracks, so now his military infrastructure is in even a worse spot, and he's suffering as it is. I would have liked to see me fully commit to a burn down on this town center, but it doesn't actually happen. We run into these villagers, and after running into these villagers, they aggro onto the mill, which is kind of a really useless pick, unfortunately. And we split our Keshiks here and dive them on the mangoes in the back. We can take this army. If we're going to trade out this army, we're going to trade it out taking out some siege. So taking out the siege is a really big deal, right? Because we know he's hurting for wood, and he's in his base. He's hurting for wood and gold. So anything that's wood and gold heavy is worth trading my units for. At this stage of the game, I felt like, and he's just chewing up this wood line. So we are overextending here. We're bringing our springles up to kind of sacrifice them and to kill these mangoes. And he is like right on the flank, and we're not paying attention. It would have been nice to bring these mangoes up at the same time, and we almost get aggroed onto there. But he starts pushing forward on us. Springles start popping mangoes, and then these guys aggro onto these lancers. But all they needed to do was sit. Like if they had just sat here, we would have taken care of protected these mangoes in a much better spot. And then a big mistake is these mangoes move, but they never get a chance to A move. So we lose a lot of our springolds, we lose our mangoes. Our Kurultai is setting up way late, so we just gotta fall back here and reset up. On the plus side, like we were talking about earlier, we've got outposts to fall back to. So the only thing that would kind of suck is if he does complete the burn down on the Kurultai, which he doesn't. He's investing in hand cannons, which are super gold heavy, and he doesn't have gold. He's trying to get traders going again, right? He's gone up to triple markets. He should be cranking out traders, but he doesn't have the gold for it. And so he cleans up our army here. We get one of the mangoes with reinforcements, but we're just gonna hold here and fight, right? And if he pushes us out, but it's gonna be a little bit difficult for him to push. We were trying to crank a bunch of towers up here in the middle, and we could. Honestly, I feel like we could have taken this fight a little bit better. A big thing is that we don't. We're not attacking with these mangoes and these springolds, right? The springolds are diving on the mangoes, which is fine, but the mangoes are diving on the mangoes. So by the time the mangoes actually start shooting, it's way late, and we lose a lot of our units. So the cav gets. Once the spearmen are in contact with your mangadai or your keshiks, you start taking a lot of damage. And if you don't have mangonels chunking out those spearmen, you're in a really bad situation. But the bombard towers are something we can always fall back to. If he tries to drop a keep on us, he does lose this, and we're able to heal up the Kurultai. Behind this, we brought these forces to hit these farms, and they were right next to this tree line. There was a 40 villager exodus here that we just missed, that we just barely missed. Unfortunate, but we do take these guys, and we're going to go into the back of his base. We want to see if there's trade going on. He's got the 3 traders right now, and the 3 of them are over here stagnated. So he's got more than 3 traders, so he's trying to defend this. He tries to push the front here. Bombards are just going to wreck this. Behind this, we're hitting walls over here. And we're getting into his eco again, so we're going to start messing up his food production and killing a lot of villas here. And again, this is that big mass exodus on the gold. So this is what he did last time too, and this really messed up his eco last time as well. To shut off one, like instead of pulling 40 vills like he did the first time and the second time, pulling half your vills would have been a good amount. One thing is though, if you did pull half of these other half would have died. They were in a really risky position, so that's definitely something. And yeah, we're just finding spots and hitting holes, right? Over here, we were trying to deny any gold collection that we can, but we don't want to sit under TC with these mangadai. We want to engage this army with the mangadai, and that's what we do. And we do bring keshiks up to start burning down this fort, or this castle. So with 12 keshiks, we see how much damage starts getting done, right? Over here, we're just raiding, trying to find raids on different things, and we leave 4 mangadai over here on the markets. These 4 mangadai are going to do a lot of work. Like, a lot of people don't realize, but they're going to be able to handle a good amount of units here. That if they come in piecemeal, they can handle a good amount of units. Over here, we're trying to drop towers in front of our Kurultai. We have a Treb. This keep has gone down, and we've lost 1 Keshik here. Maybe a couple more Keshik filtered in, but we only lost 1 Keshik there, I'm pretty sure. Behind this, these units have busted through and are trying to find places to hit. Over here, the Mangadai have been still harassing. We've had 186 villager kills at this point. So his eco, I mean, this game is 100% over. I think once we took that gold node in the middle and he wasn't trying to make a trade play. But yeah, now he's doing his best to hold here. We're bringing siege up. He's still collecting wood over here. I would have really liked to have gotten more towers up along the flanks here. We have no vision here. We have no vision here. Yeah, that was definitely a bad move. Upgrade wise, we could probably get our tier 3 precision crossbreeding. We've got 29 pastures. Just for a good gauge for you guys, 29 pastures, 51 villagers, and we've only got a surplus of 3 sheep. And we got idle villagers. So 29 pastures at tier 2 food tech and tier 1 improved food tech. And we're not keeping up with 29 for 50. I mean, they're keeping up supposedly now, but it's not actually keeping up. So just so you guys see rates, you got to make more than 2 to 1. We're taking this army. We're gonna go burn other areas. We get a nice timing just by coincidence. We don't see these guys, but we're gonna come over here. We wanted to burn something at the very edge while we bring this army up the middle. There's nothing left here for him really. In terms of eco, like, I mean, he's got his farms and stuff like stabilized where he can, right? That's only 32. But trading out this army is always in our favor, right? Once you've got an eco lead, you can just send waves in, right? If he kills him, he kills him. And over here, we're gonna sacrifice 17 Keshik and 3 Mangadai to burn down houses. That's all we're gonna do. We're just gonna burn down houses. And we'll watch these units die. He does dive around the back. He takes out a couple mangoes, I think. He takes out 1 mango. Kurultai is setting up in the front. And we've burned 2 houses. And we're attacking this one. I don't know where else there's a house. Oh, the Treb is taking down houses here too. So we sacrifice all of these Keshiks. We try to get this 3rd house down, but I mean, obviously we're winning already, and he's not even getting to that population area. But if we deny houses, like if he had like I don't know what is going on over here, right? If he's got full farms over here, if he's got that re-upped, taking out those houses is a big deal, because now all of a sudden, even if you've got the resources, you don't have to pop cap. You've got to spend wood on the houses, and you can see that's what he does. He panic builds 5 houses, and he kind of has to, because otherwise he's going to get pop cap, right? Because if his eco starts getting stabilized, he has to get that going. So we've got rams up here, which is always the death knell. 6 rams, and they're just going to start punching holes through, right? And they're very hard to deal with. Kurultai up here healing our units. We're doing 19 damage a pop with these Mangadai, which is really, really good, right? These elite archers do 9. We shoot faster, we do more damage. We got 95 health, and he's got and we got 156, right? Every time a camel gets in here, it definitely hurts our damage significantly. Oh, here we do get through. We're gonna start burning to get through. And he does tap out here, so good game to our opponent, and that was the final, so we do end up winning this. And I guess a big thing with the Ayubids is you have to really be careful about their opening, right? You need to see if they're going for a fast 2TC, or if they got extra villagers, and then if they're dropping an archery range or a stables, be ready for the Desert Raider build. And if they're going Desert Raiders, if you're not going Mangadai, go Archers. If you do go Archers, you do have to be accompanied with a little bit of a Spearman to deal with them pulling out their swords. But I think if you mass Archers, like 80% Archers, you'll be in a really good spot to fight the Ayubid Desert Raider. So that's it for this one, guys. Hopefully this one uploads properly and doesn't have any issues. And thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next one.